50 now. You may have thought surrogacy was only for Hollywood A-listers like Elton John, Nicole Kidman, for example, but estimates suggest around 750 children have been born to surrogate mothers in the UK over the last 26 years.
But will the news that a surrogate mother has won the right to keep the baby that she had agreed to hand over to a couple make people more cautious? Jill Hawkins is Britain's most prolific surrogate mother, having given birth, I can't believe this, Jill, 8 babies for other couples. Alongside you is Louisa Ghevaert, who's a fertility lawyer specialising in surrogacy cases. So very warm welcome to you both. Before we go into the principles of surrogacy and what this legal case raises, I mean, Jill, what got you into being a surrogate mother?
A complete and utter fascination with pregnancy and childbirth, and just something I wanted to experience. But I didn't want to have children, so I saw surrogacy as a way of that I could do what I wanted, but it would help somebody else at the same time. Although it wasn't until after I had the first baby that I realised the magnitude and the life-changing, you know, thing that it was.
Well, tell us about that experience then, that you, after you'd made contact and you'd agreed what you're going to do, tell us about the experience of handing the child over and at what stage that happened.
Well, it was very emotional because I'd never had a baby before, but I knew in my mind that I wanted, you know, it was what I wanted to do. The baby was purposely conceived for my couple, but once I'd had the baby...
Using their egg and sperm, was that...
No, it was my egg. It was done by artificial insemination by myself at home. So the child was genetically half mine. But when you've had a baby, you just have, it's like a bomb going off inside. You have an explosion of hormones and emotions towards this tiny little baby. And it was like, oh my goodness, where are these feelings coming from? What do they mean? And I really wanted to nurture and protect this baby, but I still didn't want to keep her. I never ever thought of her as mine. She was my couple's baby, and I had to
Louisa,
deal with that.
If you could pick up that story, if you like, supposing you're in Jill's situation and you're going through that bond, you feel that explosion of the link, and you decide you do want to keep the baby, what does the law say now?
Well, as the law stands at the moment, the surrogate mum has all the parental rights for the child, and this is because the law was designed over 20 years ago. And it was designed for a different purpose. It was designed for married couples doing IVF. And effectively, surrogacy was a bolt-on to that situation. And it leaves the intended parents in a situation where they have no legal right to the child initially at birth. And they have to go through a post-birth legal process to obtain parental rights and have those reassigned from the surrogate mother.
And is there a time frame on that, a legal time frame?
There is. The application has to be made within 6 months of the child's birth, and it can only be done by consent. So the surrogate mother has to consent fully and freely to the making of the court order to give parental rights to the intended
Can I clarify
parent.
one other thing on that one? After that period of time, that 6 months is up and agreement has been given legally, can the surrogate mother then step back into the frame and say, do you know what, I did agree to all those things, I've gone through that process, but now I've changed my mind?
After the parental order has been made, it is a full and final permanent legal solution which gives legal finality to the situation and parental rights to the intended parents.
Jill, I know that you gave over all of these 8 babies to the couples that you had agreed to do that with. What would have made you change your mind or have doubts?
Well, it would just be something pretty serious if I had started to have doubts about the couple, really, because the welfare of the baby is paramount, and that's the most important thing. And if I felt that the baby's safety was going to be an issue, it's very difficult. Very difficult, that one.
So presumably establishing a relationship of trust with the couple
Absolutely.
for a long period of time.
It's a year out of your life, yes, at least. Some people take longer to get to know the couple, but yeah, it's a good year out of your life, and there's a very strong bond that you build up.
And Louisa, is there any law requiring that getting to know process to be thorough and comprehensive?
Well, I think there are a number of ways that arrangements can come about. They are informal here in the UK. They're not binding arrangements as a matter of public policy. And so I think in practice people either use friends or family if they're lucky enough to have someone come forward to help, or people get in touch with prospective surrogates through not-for-profit agencies, and the longest standing of those are COTS and Surrogacy UK, and they have slightly different ethos. COTS provides more of a matching service, whereas Surrogacy UK very much has an ethos of building a community around surrogacy and organising events where prospective intended parents and surrogates can come together, begin to form relationships, and slowly get to know each other.
Now, I'm sure you're going to come back in around just before 9 o'clock,
Yes.
so 8:45. People will have lots of questions, and I know you're very open about everything you've done.
Absolutely.
So please feel free. Do let us know, issues you'd like to ask, specific things you want to clarify. Thank you both for the moment very much.
Yes, thank you so much. It's just approaching 7 o'clock. Now for some tales of romance at 30,000.